Hey guys, Kansas 97 Stowe 171. I'm using my regular Digicam because the GoPro, I thought the battery was fully charged still, and it wasn't. I hit the record button and it stopped right away and gave me a little battery warning. So anyway, I thought I'd do a short video of my new Subaru. This car belonged to my wife. It's mine now. She bought a new Miata, and I'm going to be taking over the payments on this one, which, I mean, money's all the same thing, but basically this is going to be my car now. So she'll have a new Miata and an old Subaru to drive, and I'll have a new Subaru and an old Miata to drive. So works for me. And this car is pretty damn good looking. I'll get out and walk around it once here for you guys. I'll put some still photos up too. So that's it. There's a guy standing over there, so I'm sure I look like a dork with my camera stuck on my head. I'll post some pictures. I took some good pictures of it. This is an 06 Legacy limited edition. Basically it's a Legacy GT without the turbocharged engine. It's got the same brakes, and I believe it's got the same suspension. I could be wrong, but I know it's got dual piston calipers up front, so I suspect the car is essentially the same, minus the turbocharged engine. It's reasonably quick. I mean, it's no rocket ship, that's for sure. It's got 144,000 on it. Stereo's decent, rides good, runs good. Leaks a little bit of oil, valve covers. Typical Subaru, it leaks a little bit off the valve cover and then drops, of course, on the exhaust, and you get a little bit of an oily stink, especially when you come off the interstate. But, it's got 144 on it. It's probably never had valve covers put in it. Valve cover gaskets put in it, so I'll need to do that. But other than that, it runs great. I'm driving it today because I didn't get to bed till really late last night, and I'm still a little bit tired, and I don't like driving the motorcycle when I'm tired. And quite frankly, it's looking like rain. The weather says it's supposed to be just cloudy today and warm, but it's certainly, my gut instinct is it's going to rain. So I thought, well, just take the sedan, take the wagon, and I gotta say, it's a good looking wagon. So, give you a little bit, you get your dimmer. One thing I don't like about this car, it has daytime running lights, and when you turn the key off, the headlights do go off. Like the older 90s Subarus, you could turn the headlights on, and when you turned the key off, all the lights went off. So I always just run the old Subaru with the headlights turned on. Well, this car, you can do the same thing. When you turn the key off, the lights do go off, but there are daytime running lights on. Even when you have the headlight switch off, there's daytime running lights. So car isn't really designed to be driven with the headlights turned on all the time. So when they're on, it dims all, you know, like the clock and the gauge cluster, and you can't read it. So you got to turn the dimmer all the way up to the top, and then past it to the full on mark, so to see the interior stuff, like the clock and the, you know. See, if I turn it, that's full bright on the dimmer. You can't read those things because the headlights are on and it's got it dimmed for headlights on. You turn it like all the way to the flip to the top, and now you can read it. So I like running with just the headlights on, and then they're always on, just like the old Subaru. Now, I think the new Subarus, you can't even do that. I think the headlights stay on, you know, if you turn the key off. But I don't know why they went away from that. I thought it was a great system. Who the hell needs daytime running lights? Just leave it run with your headlights on. When the key turns off, the lights go off. I always thought that was a great system. Out today too, so love this car. It's quiet. There's not a lot of wind noise. You do feel the bumps when you hit a crack like that in the pavement. You do hear it a little bit. It's got 17-inch wheels with pretty low profile tires, and also the shocks have 144,000 on them. I think it could use a new set of shocks. You go over like a pretty good like bump like that, like a sloping bump, the ass will bounce a little bit. So I'm gonna look into, you know, see what kind of upgrades are available. But it handles pretty good. It's just got all-season tires on it, which is unfortunate. It's what was on it when we bought it. They put brand new tires on it right before we bought it. So, and we were living with whatever they chose. I would have picked a high-performance summer tire for it, and then bought a set of like Outback wheels. It would put some you know, more all-terrain tires for winter. But and the wifey doesn't really push the cars that much, and you know, and being that it's a big sedan, even with summer tires on it, this car's not going to handle fantastic like a Miata would. So I don't know whether it's worth it, but we're running about 85 miles an hour right now, and it's pretty quiet. Considering this vehicle still has there's no frames on the windows. They finally have changed that design, but it was a Subaru trait for years and years. Stereo is pretty good. It's unfortunate it's kind of integrated. It can be changed, thankfully, because this car does not have climate control. I think this is the 4th generation Legacy. If you have the automatic climate control, the radio is integrated with it. You can't just change it. So if you wanted to add a USB port or auxiliary in or something like that, it's a lot more difficult. With this, the problem is you got the volume way over here, you got this control way over here. It's really spread out. So what do you do with this button? There is a way to do it, and I'm going to have to look into it. You know, the other option would be to buy an FM modulator. Not an external one, but one that intercepts the input from the antenna input on the radio. Those work reasonably well, but they're still not as good as if you have, you know, a direct digital input. Little cubby hole right there. Everything works, cruise works, gets good mileage. Right there it's saying average of 28.2. That's a little bit, probably a little higher than it actually is. Generally it's about 27 overall, you know, on the highway, which is pretty good for a big wagon, all-wheel drive wagon. But overall I like it a lot. It's got great brakes. Whoa, guys. Yeah, that was on the floor. So yeah, it's not a rocket. If compare that to another video I've got posted of Outback XT 0 to 60 time, you'll see that that vehicle is somewhat faster. But we bought this car with about 100,000 miles on it, and which is what we needed. We really couldn't afford to spend much more. We got this car for $10,000. We called the owner. There was absolutely nothing wrong with this car. Had a timing belt put in it already. We were able to talk to the previous owner about the car and asked them, you know, why did you sell it? Because it's a really nice car. And they said, well, it's got a tow hitch on it, a small 1.5 inch tow hitch, and they used to tow jet skis with it, and they upgraded to a small boat, and this car didn't have the towing capacity. So they traded this car in for a turbocharged Subaru Forester, which could tow the small pontoon boat they had. So I asked her, you know, is there anything else wrong with the vehicle? And she's like, well, there is one little problem. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, what is it, you know? And she's like, on the driver's side door, sometimes the power window switch sticks a little bit. You know, so that's a problem. And I'm like, okay, wow, if the people that owned this before think that's a major problem, this is a good car for us. And she's right, it does occasionally. You press it down and it sticks a little, like somebody spilled some pop in it or something. I don't know what it is, but it actually hasn't caused us any problems. But so after talking with them, we decided that this would be a great car, and we picked it up. And the thing was, you know, you're buying a car that's got 100,000 on it. I think it had 105 on it. You know, she certainly, and I certainly would have liked the turbocharged version. We both like cars that have some power. But when you add the turbocharger, you add the possibility that, you know, it's driven by a hooligan. It's been beat a little bit more, and it's just a lot more complicated powertrain. This engine is the single overhead cam engine. It's easy to work on. The spark, just little things like getting to the spark plugs, because they're angled from the top of the valve cover like that. On the dual overhead cam engines, the spark plugs are in the middle, and it is a pain in the fucking ass to get the spark plugs out. And so I just looked under the hood, and I'm like, we're buying a 105,000 mile car. Ease of maintenance is important. And even if even if the worst would happen and this engine would blow up for some reason, you can pick up a single overhead cam Subaru engine for pretty cheap. You know, they used them in the Impreza, and they used them in a lot of cars. So whereas the turbocharged model is out of a WRX, certainly a lot more money, at least double the price for a used engine. And I just thought, you know, yeah, the power would be great, but this car looks great. It handles good. I think this looks amazing, and I think it's one of the sexiest wagons ever made. And so it's lacking a little bit of power, but the ease of maintenance and the simplicity of it, we saw as a great advantage for us in our particular situation. You know, if I could have bought one new, or I could have bought one with, you know, 50,000 miles on it or something, which we could not have afforded at the time, I would have done it perhaps. But you know what? It's really nice getting, you know, 28 miles of the gallon too, which we probably wouldn't get in the turbocharged model. We averaged 27 in this with mixed driving, and that's really not bad for a big ass wagon. I'm gonna turn on the radio real quick and let you guys hear that. I don't know how well it'll transfer into the camera, but yeah, let's see. What the hell? Oh, hit the wrong button, guys.
DJs, here we go.
He knew that he was in trouble. And he done put up in peace, got a lot of chicks, he goes in the club. And they say he like it slick, he's got a lot of chips, he's so messed up. He's been locked up on somebody else.
Bass is good enough. It's vibrating my my pants leg there, so pretty good system. Probably could use it to be a little bit more powerful. I mean, you know, that's about as good as it gets. but I could live with it. The car's so quiet that the volume is enough and the sound quality is good enough for me. The issue is, you know, how do I get my music onto it without having to burn a freaking CD? And it does not even an MP3 CD player, so I'd like to figure out some way to get at least an auxiliary in, but preferably to have a USB port where I can plug in a flash drive or something with my music on it. And to do that, I'd probably have to replace the head unit, which would alter the way this car looks here. And I just, I'm going to have to research and see. I know it's been done, and I'm sure somebody's done it where it looked good, but you know, you're going to have to either match this color or change it to black all the way down, or silver or something. This whole piece had to be replaced, which is fine, but I'll have to look into it and see. Jeep there, V8 quadra drive, limited. Yeah, guys, I still really would like to have a Jeep, but I just it's not in the cards right now. You know, I kept looking and looking and looking, and everyone I found had some kind of problem or it was too expensive. And I just, right now, there's an Outback version of this car right there. I just I can't risk getting into a several $100 a month car payment, you know, on a car that possibly and most likely is going to have some kind of a problem. You know, the payment on this is $260 a month, and I can certainly afford that. Obviously, we're already paying it, but I'm going to take over that payment for her. She's paying it right now, and I'm going to start paying it, and it's a reliable car. And you know, I just started balancing, like, how often do I really go off-road where I need ground clearance and off-road ability? And the answer is like maybe 3 times a year we go down to her property. And I started thinking, well, maybe what I ought to do instead is look on Craigslist and find like a $500 or $1,000, you know, $700 beat the shit out of 4-wheel drive pickup. Runs like, doesn't need to have air conditioning, doesn't need to have anything, just, you know, practically a farm implement at that point. Drive it down to the property and just park it down there, and we'll use that. You know, if we have to, we'll park on the other side of the creek, transfer our crap, and use the truck to get around on the property to haul logs or wood or whatever, and just leave it down there. You know, and it would be an older truck that's more simple. It wouldn't need to have the all-wheel drive system like a Jeep for on-road use, because it would just be used off-road down there. So I kind of think that's where we're headed. The other option would be to maybe try to do a 2-inch lift on the Impreza Outback we already own. That might give us enough ground clearance to get around back there. I don't know. I'm going to have to look into it. But that's certainly a possibility. Now, that car's certainly not going to haul trees around and logs, but that's an option as well. Alright, guys. I'm going to sign off. I'm getting a little tired of talking. I spent half the night with my friend Chad and Greg. Hey guys, talking about my friend, you know, the ratracelosers.blogspot.com. Check out his website, and we were talking about his move and trying to work out the geothermal heating for hot water and hot air in his house. And Greg is he's certified. He went to trade school and has got his certifications in practically everything. So we've been working out the mechanics and the electricals. On how to do stuff. And so we talked for hours last night. My voice is a little hoarse today. So I'm going to sign off, guys. You have a good one, and as always, be safe out there. See you guys. Bye.